The original Sam dancer Emperor Peter Senzagaze representing for the dance of fraternity and the people they have seen. One leg in the water, another one at the fire. Just want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel MD90. Enjoy some interviews right there.
Well, GBM has lost his company, his tracking company. As you may be aware, he was arrested and convicted. Should have been now 6 months ago or thereabout. And then he was pardoned by the president, and some of the property that was involved in the cases that he had has been seized. So according to the UPND report, says Geoffrey Wayawamba's GBM Tracking Limited forfeited to the state in a non-conviction forfeiture. So obviously, instead of him being in prison, he's forfeited that company and they owe its assets to the state. Obviously, some pictures of him with President Hakainde back then in opposition have also been circulating since then. And according to the UPND, they say a seizure of GBM's Tracking Limited is in a non-conviction based forfeiture. So the National Prosecution Authority, NPA, has taken over Geoffrey Wayawamba's Tracking Limited, a company owned by former Defense Minister Geoffrey Wayawamba, GBM, in a non-conviction based forfeiture. So National Prosecution Authority Public Relations Officer Vivian Singo confirmed the development, stating that GBM Tracking Limited is a substitute property to recover the actual value of proceeds of crime. Mr. Mwamba was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment with hard labor on October 9th, 2024, for 13 counts, including conflict of interest, possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, and money laundering. He was fined 50,000 kwacha and ordered to repay almost 900,000 US dollars, which is equivalent to 24.9 million kwacha, and 20 million to the state. The former defense minister was later released from prison on medical grounds in April 2025. So he was released, and so this is the company that he has opted to submit to the state in place of his conviction, where the state can sell the assets and get back the value that we are looking for the convictions that he had. So it's a non-conviction forfeiture, as you hear. So that's what's going on with GBM and his property since being released from prison. But what is on the other hand, Sampa? So Sampa ordered to pay legal costs to Mvunga for defamation case. So Material Member of Parliament Sampa has been ordered to pay the legal costs in a matter in which he's being sued by former Bank of Zambia boss governor, that's Chris Mvunga. So the High Court ruled that Sampa was properly served with a demand letter through a WhatsApp after he allegedly refused to accept a physical court documents in a ruling. Court Judge Elita Mukisa found that there was no procedure irregularities in the issuance of the service of originating process. In view that the foregoing, I found that there was no procedure irregularities in the issuance of service and in the process. That's according to Judge Mugisa stated. Mr. Mvunga commenced the legal action against Sampa following claims he made in made by the lawmakers' Facebook page, alleging that the former central bank chief was printing money during the tenure and of the Patriotic Front administration. Sampa had also asked the court to dismiss the case, arguing that he had not been properly served with a demand letter and the proceedings were therefore irregular. However, the court rejected the application and upheld the validity and service effected via WhatsApp. So Dr. Mvunga is being represented by Dixon Jerry and Associates, while Mr. Sampa is being represented by Levy legal practitioners. So that's what's going on with Mouse Sampa. I'm pretty sure he's going to appeal that, and obviously it's going to go through the process until maybe we get into election period again. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. And then I am now part of a bigger picture or the bigger plan. I'm not going into Nkana. I have done my part. I wish the people of Nkana can pick a better person than me, Binwa Mpundu. So this has not been confirmed by Binwa Mpundu, because I've seen a press statement that he has just put up. Maybe it's in response to this, where people are alleging to say he's saying he's not going to contest as a member of parliament. Maybe he might be a running mate to Brian Munduvire, because he moved his movement into the Tonse Alliance led by Brian Munduvire. So Torrance there asks that's the end. Bigger picture. Vice President, he laughs it off to say, I mean, if you leave your parliamentary seat, that will be the end of your political career. Don't overestimate yourself. Be realistic and stay within the constituency. Otherwise, you're trying to become a vice president or a running mate will kick you out of parliament. So best cards would be for him to go and recontest his seat in Nkana. But that statement has not been confirmed by Bino Mpundu. It could be just the media trying to push a narrative here. What is Munduvire has 13 running mate options if Luwinda Makebi Zulu do not respond. That's Zumani. So if as you may be aware, Brian Munduvire had given an ultimatum to Makebi Zulu and given Luwinda to say they are free to come and join him and possibly become his running mate. And then Zumani put up that statement, said Brian Munduvire Tonse Alliance says if Makebi Zulu and Given Luwinda do not respond to the running mate offer by the end of the month, Munduvire has over 13 potential candidates, both within and outside the Patriotic Front to choose from. Tonse Alliance faction Secretary General Chris Zumanizimba says Zulu and Luwinda have until this month end, which is pretty much this weekend. If they don't respond by then that door would have shut. These are ultimatums that these people keep on giving each other of no use. But anyway, why is Muchima must stay away from the media and keep quiet? So people are advising the former Minister of Health. He's having like a media run where he's trying to defend himself to say he did not vote for Bill 7. It's just looking pathetic at this point. The fired minister explains, I voted for Bill 7, but the gadgeter they fought Muchima. So he alleged that in Parliament, and the Speaker was quick to disregard that, saying there were no faults with any of the gadgets. You simply voted against Bill 7. Just own up to it. And it's clear he's trying to save face at this point, because it's very, if he can be fired as minister, it's very apparent he's not going to be adopted on the UPND ticket. And in the constituency he's standing, him not being adopted in the UPND, he does not feel he can run as an independent or in the opposition. And that is why he's trying to save face so that he can be adopted. But the fact that the president fired you as minister, I don't see them getting adopted. The other guy has just kept quiet. You just cut your losses and keep it moving. It is what it is. You made a decision and as an independent mind, which you are free to do. And you're facing the consequences of that, because if it had worked in their favor, we would be having a different conversation at this point. So, but yeah, he's in Parliament. He was issuing the same statements. He had to be corrected. He's in the media giving out interviews. And obviously, another person responded to some. It's a lie. No gadgets were faulty. So there was no gadget that malfunctioned during the vote for Bill 7. All machines were tested, says government's deputy chief whip Likando Matafari. Yeah, that's Matafari. No. Mufalari. I don't know what that name is, but yeah. So that's the person that has responded to him. That's the deputy chief whip. He says former health minister Dr. Elijah Muchima excuse of 40 gadget was neither here nor there, as he could have uttered the as he was elected to the speaker. So simply, he could have elected a speaker if that was 40. So pretty much, no one is believing his story, but he's trying to save face. Let him just admit it and keep it moving. Clearly, he will not get the adoption. No matter how much he tries to explain, my gadget was 40, I voted for Bill 7, just own up to the decision. If it had worked out in your favor, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And then again, other people would argue to say, if the vote was private, how did the information get to the executive? That's another conversation others would argue. But anyway, it is what it is. Let them just face the consequences of that vote. This thing of trying to defend it's 40, and everybody else in the house is saying the gadgets were fine. Even some of the people that he was fired with, the other guy is literally silent. The other minister that was fired, he has not held any press briefing, any statement, not even in parliament. But this one from Minister of Health is not taking it well clearly. He really wants to defend himself, and no one is believing him. And yeah, it's looking bad. While CCMG as a Christian monitoring group cautions Electoral Commission of Zambia, removal of date stamps on ballot papers can compromise electoral integrity. Obviously, this headline has been advised for several times. I hope the ECZ heeds to that advice. Makepi wins first round of polls. That's according to Emmanuel Mwamba's opinion poll done. No political regalia. Mpezeni bans politics at Inchwara. Ishema bribing students, buying false popularity. And obviously, as the Daily Mail or Daily Nation says, Zambia off track on SDGs. That's according to the UN. And there's another headline here. Zambia in a crisis, Council of Elders. Obviously, there was that broadcast. And pretty much that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful morning.